With the 2024 NBA draft come and gone, let's grade each pick within the top 10. With the number 1 overall pick, the Atlanta Hawks selected Zaccharie Risacher, and I'm giving this a B. This is a solid pick, and Risacher is a good player, but I don't think they picked the best player available. We all thought that Alex Sarr was the obvious pick here, and then in the days leading up to the draft, reports came out that Alex Sarr hadn't even worked out for the Hawks. Still not sure why, if that's Sarr's fault or if that's Atlanta's fault, but I do think the Hawks missed out. Risacher is a solid player, good wing, and will be a very good solid piece for Atlanta in their rebuild, but easily one of the weakest number 1 picks in the last few years. At 2, the Washington Wizards selected Alex Sarr, and I'm giving this an A. I think they picked the best player in the draft. His defensive ability is elite, and he's easily one of the best defenders in the class, and he's still got so much offensive upside. His size is really what Washington need, and he's going to be a massive piece for them in their rebuild. Great pick by Washington. At 3, the Houston Rockets selected Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard is easily the best shooter in the draft, averaging 52% from 3 in college, and he's going to be great in Houston. I gave them a B+, definitely a good pick, and he's going to be awesome for Houston in their rebuild, and another great young player on the Rockets roster. At 4, the San Antonio Spurs selected Stephon Castle, and I love the fit. The Spurs desperately needed a good point guard, and to pair him with Wemby is really nice. I really like this one. I gave them a B+. He's also one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire draft, and I love pairing him with Wemby. He's got a lot of upside and a very bright future. At 5, the Detroit Pistons selected Ron Holland. The Pistons got unlucky getting the 5th pick again, but they still got a really good player in Ron Holland, who's an amazing athlete, a really productive scorer, and got a great mentality on the court. He's got a lot of defensive upside as well, and I gave the Pistons another B+. It'll be interesting to see where he fits in, whether he will start over Ivy or Asar, but I like the fit into the Pistons' young core. At 6, the Charlotte Hornets selected Tidjane Salaün, one of the biggest surprises in the draft, and I gave this a C. I did not really like this one. I get that he's an athletic forward, which is what they need. He's so young though, and I do believe there were a lot better talent for Charlotte to pick. With the likes of Donovan Clingan, Rob Dillingham later on in this draft, I don't think this was the best player available. I think at this stage in Charlotte's rebuild, you just got to go with the best player available and not the best fit. Getting Clingan would have been great for them to pair with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and move Mark Williams to the bench, but they decided to go with a more athletic forward for the better fit. We'll see how it goes, but I don't love it. At 7, the Portland Trail Blazers picked one of the best picks in the entire draft in Donovan Clingan. I'm giving this one an A. I absolutely love the fit to pair with their amazing young guards in Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson and Shaedon Sharpe. I think he'll start over Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton, and they'll probably look to move one of those two. And I think Donovan Clingan was the best player available. I love this pick for Portland. At 8, the San Antonio Spurs selected Rob Dillingham and then went on to trade him to Minnesota. I absolutely love this for Minnesota. You get to pair Rob Dillingham, one of the shiftiest, fastest players in the draft, with Anthony Edwards as a backup to Mike Conley. I really like this one. I really don't understand it for San Antonio. I thought this was such a good fit, pairing Rob with Wemby, and then to go and trade him for a few later first round picks in, I think, 2031. So for Minnesota, I'm giving this one an A. Then at 9, the Memphis Grizzlies selected Zach Edey, and I'm giving this one a B. A lot of people hated on this one, and I don't love this one, but the Memphis Grizzlies, their one need is a center, and they drafted a center. 9 is a bit of a stretch for Zach Edey. He was projected a lot lower down in the draft, and to pick him at 9 is a bit of a stretch, but they did solve one of their biggest needs in that center position, and I'd imagine he'd start for Memphis. It's absolutely perfect for Zach Edey to pair him with Jaren Jackson Jr., a former Defensive Player of the Year award, with Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, elite guards. I really like this for Zach Edey. For Memphis, it's okay. And finally, the Utah Jazz selected Cody Williams, and I'm giving this one a B+. I do really like this for them. Get a really quality small forward to pair with Keontae George and Isaiah Collier, some of their other really good young pieces. He's a great transitional player down the court and a really good defender as well. So I really like this for Utah.